Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and let me tell you what, I just got off the phone with one of these pitching facilities for, pitchers around the country. Some of these facilities are mega expensive. I'm talking about mega expensive, and because a lot of these guys in high school and college, they go to these facilities over the summer. I was trying to decide what to do with my son, who's a JUCO pitcher now, and got to spend some money. Okay, but you kids out there, you got to pay to play. Go ahead and learn it. So before we go any further, I want to remind everybody, if you want to join the group and get all of this entire video plus the extra content with no commercials, go into the Patreon at daixrp.com or click below here, click the join button if you'd rather join through the YouTube channel, and you get the same thing. Cost for a cup of coffee. All right, here we go. The market has been down off of the economic jitters, more or less, in general. We've got a 218 XRP. I want you to see this. So what's the solution? Look at this. Ask yourself, if I were in control, how would I distract the masses, fill my bags while everyone else panics? Combine that thinking with the power of media manipulation and insider moves, and suddenly it all starts to make sense. Soon you'll hear everyone screaming, "It's over," pulling out the death cross and fear-driven nonsense. Meanwhile, smart money will be buying the bottom. Now, folks, if you don't think this is going on, let's take a thorough look at what Mike Novogratz, Galaxy Digital, what just happened to them. So I think I showed this in my last video. Galaxy Digital reached a $200 million settlement with New York over Luna. None of the crypto media was showing you what actually happened and what they were being accused of. Well, we're going to cover it. All right, so Do Kwon was the guy behind Luna. Basically, if you look here, Do Kwon, his plan worked. Galaxy bought more than 18.5 million Luna from Terraform in October 2022 at 22 cents a token, nearly 30% discount from Luna's then market price of 31 cents, and began endorsing Luna. So they, and look, I don't know which parts of this is something that Galaxy did wrong. The part where it gets uncomfortable is when you get down here to May 2022. Luna collapsed and wiped out more than 40 billion of market value over the course of a few days, impacting investors in New York, the United States, and throughout the world. Before the crash, Galaxy had already exited nearly all of its Luna position. Now, folks, it's not just Mike Novogratz that plays these games. This is the VC pump gang's been doing this from the inception of crypto. And I don't know, I'm not an attorney, I don't know all the legalities of what's right. All I know is what feels right, and to go out there, to be issued, to buy from the issuer a token at a discount, and then to turn around right after you do it and go out on social media and start talking about all the promise of this thing. Something about it doesn't feel right to me, but I wanted to make sure you understood. And my point in showing you this is, if they're playing these kind of games with individual tokens, what do you think, what kind of games do you think guys like this are playing with the market overall in crypto, with all the positive things that are coming? You better believe they're playing the similar games, and they play it, so they play these games so that they can buy on the cheap and then ride it on up when all the positive stuff comes in. And these guys, they all have they have a network of media people, and they go out on media themselves. This is Mike Novogratz. Now, remember, his firm buys Luna from the issuer at like 22 cents. This thing ran up to $100 and something, folks, before the collapse. Buys it at 22 cents. And then that was in October 2020. This video is from the very next month, November 2020.
Recently bought a bunch of, what the heck's the name of it? I just lost my mind.
What does it do?
It's a Korean payments, like a credit card company almost.
Not Swipe or?
No, it's all in Korea. It's a stable. They have a stable coin that they use for discounts on shopping.
I'm not sure, but
I just remembered my Korean bet. It's the stable coin is called Terra, and the underlying equity token is called Luna.
Oh yeah, Terra. Yeah. Okay.
Just do some homework on it, and you're gonna like it.
I know Terra. Yeah.
I like the guys. I like the idea. And when I first met them, I was like, "That's a really cool idea," but I'm not sure you're gonna be able to pull it off. And then they kind of pulled it off.
Yeah.
And so we'll see if it scales. But the Koreans are maniacs around tech and early adoption and crypto. So
absolutely.
And remember, and I'm not picking on Mike Novogratz for no good reason. Remember, this is the same guy who literally predicted about 8 days before the Bill Hinman speech exactly what the SEC would do, which made me think somebody had told him what was going on in the room, and he brags about how he's shorting XRP. So if he's playing the game with his bags to make it go up, what kind of game? I've always wondered what kind of games was he playing with the knowledge he apparently had by telling you was shorting XRP publicly. That's always stuck in my craw, and I can't get it out. Look at this, 17 million RLUSD minted at the RLUSD Treasury. Now, I just wrote this because this is what's really going on. I don't know if a lot of people get it. The U.S. is franchising the U.S. dollar with private issue stablecoins planned long ago. That's exactly what they're doing, folks. This has been a plan. Here's Tom Emmer from the digital, what was the conference? The DC Blockchain Summit.
We have an existing two-tier legacy banking system that in some respects is moving into the 21st century of finance. In other respects, it's not. Government should not be here to protect dinosaurs from ever having to evolve, but it is up to Congress to establish where our regulators are not. We need to establish the rules so that people can rely on those rules. So going forward, it's all about making sure that you have certainty and predictability in the system. And that's literally what we're going to do in Congress. You've already seen the Genius Act come out of the Senate Banking Committee. That's the stablecoin bill on the Senate side. French Hill, our chairman of the House Financial Services Committee, is literally working on both a stablecoin bill, which is a lot like, there's some differences, but the draft that we've seen is a lot like the Senate bill. There are some minor differences that I'm sure can be ironed out. And that's going to be all about if you're going to create stablecoins here and around the world, that you are going to represent to people our dollar-backed stablecoins. Well, this is the debate. We're going to have Treasury lay out specific requirements to prove that, in fact, your stablecoin is backed up by something of value, the U.S. dollar. But then the market structure bill is the other piece. You got to have both.
Okay, and then we've got this. Uphold, put this out. Hold the utility, not the hype. What comes to mind when you hear that? XRP comes to my mind. Now, crazy Michael Saylor is saying Bitcoin's market cap will reach 500 trillion.
It's going to go from 2 billion to 20 billion to 200 billion to 2 trillion to 20 trillion to 200 trillion. And when it gets to 200 trillion, it'll chomp along at plus 20% to eventually 300, 400, 500 trillion dollars. And where is that capital going to come from? It's going to come from Russian real estate. It's going to come from Chinese private equity. It's going to come from everything in Africa, everything in South America. You have capital flowing from foreign financial and physical assets to Bitcoin. You have capital flowing from 20th century assets to Bitcoin. Capital is going to flow from the 20th century to the 21st century. It's going to flow from physical to digital. it's going to flow from currency-based derivatives to a digital commodity derivative. So it's already happening. It's unstoppable. It's literally like...
Okay, enough of that. This guy. All right, this is XRP holder Greg Kidd. Listen to this.
First chief risk officer at Ripple, and was around for like Coinbase.
I think you were employee number 10 at Ripple, right?
Employee number 10 at Ripple. And I think...
For those that don't know, what was the peak market cap of Ripple?
Well, I mean, Ripple's peak market cap is like now. It's, you know, there's a float of 100 billion, and the coin's over $2. So, you know, some of that's in treasury, but, you know, you can just multiply 2 times 100 billion, and that's got to be a very big market cap. And so I had a bunch of XRP. I have XRP, I have Bitcoin, I have Ether, I have Solana. So, you know, basically I like Bitcoin, but I'm not a Bitcoin maximalist. I have uses for each of the different tokens, but...
Okay, and then this clip is very interesting right here. Greg Kidd has quite an interesting take on regulatory capture and regulators holding you over a barrel. The question here is, was the SEC Ripple lawsuit an initiation for Ripple into the big boy club?
Call it corruptions. Yeah, I lived in places like Indonesia. We don't call it corruption. We just call it wetness. How wet is this deal? Which means, like, how much do we
have to pad their pockets?
You have to pay off the top, keep it. But it's what we call politely regulatory capture. And so, like, folks that have gone through, it's like hazing. Once you've been through hazing to get into the fraternity, then now you're going to haze the next generation. Well, you have to go through the same hell I went through. So look, I'm in the tent now, and I could basically, you know, celebrate that, but it's not my nature. I want, like, lots of people in the tent.
My son just walked in the room, and he was about to go in. I thought he was about to go in the bathroom and pee while I'm doing my show. I said, don't pee. But anyway, he had to come in here. The people were cleaning the house, so he had to come sit in the office. You want to say hello? All right. 10 straight days of inflows for spot Bitcoin ETFs. Bullish momentum is building. That's what's going on behind the scenes, folks. I think I'm going to skip that one and go to this one. This is an interesting thought. If one XRP can be split into 1 million parts, conversely, one XDC can be split into 1 quintillion parts, and one XLM can be split into 1 quintillion parts, then you may understand that the unit price of each token is designed to be valued in the 10,000s of dollars. Now, I'm not saying that. That's what they said. Okay, we're going to go into daixrp.com, and remember, that's where the Patreon is, where you can watch the full video and the extended part with no commercials, or you could choose to do it through YouTube. Click below this video on the join button to do it that way. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. Here we go.